second, okay? I started taking an acting class last week. That's a little thing I learned called basic relaxation. We'll get into that a little bit more. And I'm sure you're thinking, wow, like Ray, like it's my first technique class. And you're like, Ray, you've never taken a technique class? You know, like after those 9 years of playing Tootie on Facts of Life, how did you get to this point without taking a technique class? I don't know. You want me to do my catchphrase? Someone's in trouble. There's a reason why it didn't take off like what you talk about, Willis. That's a stronger catchphrase. But I have taken like some acting classes, and by acting classes I mean classes at the Groundlings. When I first moved to New York, I took a scene study and a monologue class with this at HB, which stands for. Everybody that's ever lived in New York for more than 3 minutes has taken a class at HB. It was this very kind woman named Edith Meeks, and after everybody's scene or monologue, she'd always say, there was some good stuff there, And it was like me and 3 other people, and like one of the people was this like, seemingly ancient at the time 40-year-old man who was like very meek, and he'd do it after every one of his scenes, and it was pretty much always, I think it was something from Guildenstern and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. I could be wrong, but he'd be like, I'm nearly at the point where I'm almost ready to start auditioning. I was just like, what? I just remember thinking, like, I don't want to become that man at 40 that doesn't audition. How sad must that be? Anyway, so just recently, my friends turned me on to this class, and they're like, he's just this teacher, he's amazing, you're gonna love this guy. Well, it turns out he's the meanest person I have ever met in my entire life, it's 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, and like the first time he turned on me, or like, well, he wouldn't say turned on me, focused on me, I guess you could say, he goes, what's a simple scene? And I go, do you guys know, do you know this person?
It's Tony Greco.
Oh my God, well then you know what? You're going to have a little bit of sense memory right now. So he goes, what's a simple scene? I go, it's a scene that's not difficult. That's not a definition, Ray. I go, well, he goes, what is a simple scene? I'm like, I don't know, because I get nervous easily. And he's like, what's a definition, Ray? I'm like, what's a definition, Ray? What are you feeling? What are you feeling? Start moving, Ray. Because like at this point, everybody in the class is doing, and I'm like, and every day it's been something like that, and obviously not just me, but like he's like, you're being this resistant, Nicole. Why are you being this resistant, Nicole? And like, like one guy was like, what's up with you, Johan? He's like, I'm tired. He's like, I don't believe you're tired, Johan. And he's like, well, I guess I'm just a little skeptical. You're skeptical. Okay, you're skeptical, And then that, like, so this is all like in the last couple of days. So I went on. Tuesday was the Johan episode where like, you're skeptical. Okay, you're skeptical. What does that mean, Johan? And so then so I go to class that Tuesday night, and then he's like zeroing in on a couple other people for different reasons, and then he zeroes in on this like, oh my God, I have so much to say. So he focuses on this one guy who he's like, I was sick all weekend. He's like, how long were you sick? He's like, I was sick on Monday. He's like, the flu lasts one day. I don't think the flu lasts one day. Does anybody think the flu lasts one day? And you know. And then finally the guy's like, he storms out. What I think he says is, I don't think this class is for me. And he storms out. And then I'm just like, you know, and he's like, what's going on, Ray? And I say, well, you know, I have empathy, because it's like, all he said was like, I don't think this class is for me. He's like, that's not what he said, Ray. What he said was, and I actually don't even remember what Tony said that he said, but he's like, that's not what he said. I go, well, I just, you know, I just get it. It's like, you know, like with Johan today, he said he was skeptical. In the conversation you had with Johan today, he said he was skeptical. He's like, conversation? You're calling this a conversation? I've been doing this for 33 years, and you're saying this is a conversation? If you went to the doctor and he told you need to take a medicine and gave you a diagnosis, would you call that a conversation? Yes. And I was just like, so he's like, and then I'm like locking up. He's like, start moving, Ray, start moving. You know, like the girl next to me, like the sweetest girl in the world. She's like, better, Ray, you better start. And then he's like, you know what? I don't need this. I'm gonna cut the session early. I'm gonna go back to New York because I don't need this conversation. You know, and like everybody starts crying like, no, you can't do this. You'll kill us. You know, and then of course I'm thinking it's like, good, you know, I'm gonna get my $300 back. And so anyway, I go home. I'm like, I'm not going back to. I'm not going back to the class. I'm not going back to the class. Of course, I go back to the class next day. He picks on me again, and he's like, why did you defend Ivan? Like, either you're resistant or you're dumb. I'm like, I guess I'm resistant. He's like, why are you resistant, Ray? I don't know. Why are you resistant, Ray? I don't know. Yes, you do, Ray. You know why you're resistant. I'm like, you know, I'm resistant because I'm afraid that even if I do the work, I'm still not going to be good. He's like, okay. And I went home, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, even if I do the work, I'm still going to be bad. And he's so mean. I can't do this. And then I called my I called my teacher, or my scene partner. I'm like, I can't do it. And she said to me, she's like, you know, Ray, I totally get it. But if there's just one part of you, if there's no part of you that doesn't want to do this scene, then don't do it. But if there's just one part of you that wants to do it, I want you to do it. And the scene that we're working on is Marty. And it's like this guy, this like oafish guy that just can't connect with anyone. And this woman who's like on the surface seems so plain, and she's the only one that gets him. And I just thought to myself, oh my God, you get me, you know? And so, I don't know. I haven't quit yet. I hate Tony Greco. Thank you very much. But there's something that I am afraid of that I want to address. My name is Ray Barnhart. Yeah!